First step, put your KitchenAid whisk or just your regular whisk, whatever you're using, and bowl in the refrigerator. This is what we're gonna make if you're making whipped cream. This is
okay.
If you're not making whipped cream, don't worry about it. Otherwise, put it in the fridge. If you don't have butter out for frosting, make sure that it's out. If it's like really soft, put it in the fridge for a couple minutes. It's really hot in my house, so I've sort of gone back and forth. Mine is actually too hard right now because I put it back in, but it's fine. All right, let's go ahead and do our cake leveling. So I have my turntable here. You can use, if you have a Lazy Susan, or if you want to use a piece of parchment or wax paper that you can just put on the, turn this down, put on the countertop to rotate, or use your microwave circle, whatever it is you're gonna do is fine. And you wanna get...
No, Jenny, it looks like somebody leveled this cake already. What happened to the top of your cake?
Oh gosh, the tips are gone. You think the right got in last night?
Maybe. Somebody might have been snacking these last night.
I couldn't help myself. They smelled so good and I was starving, so I just took
That's so funny.
I
left the butter pans out last night, and this morning one of the cats had licked the butter and flour out, and then there were footprints across the windowsill.
Oh,
That's excellent.
Yeah, I washed them though and redid them, but funny. What goes on at night that we have no awareness?
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, so let's grab one of your cakes and put it on your turntable, whatever it is that you're going to use as the thing you spin on. And you want to get a big serrated knife, bread knife. Serrated is important and long is important.
Jenny, do I put it on the metal thing?
You don't need to put it on your cake round now because that's not going to be its final resting place. We're just going to level it first.
Jenny, does it matter if it's pan side up or fresh side up?
So right now we're trying to level off the dome.
So we want the
top up.
Okay, yeah. Rise side up. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Let's see. I wrote notes, make sure I actually pay attention to them. If you're doing the microwave hack, you might want to put a wet paper towel underneath if it's too slippery. I would suggest maybe just watching what happens and then doing it with your own. So, sorry, I'm gonna.
Can we do some videography here?
Go ahead, take the knife. My elbow is not, I'm not really gonna move. It's gonna kind of stay where it is. And then I'm just gonna do a sort of sawing motion while rotating the cake. So, I want the cake to end up level. I don't want to take a ton of the dome off, but as much as I can for it to be level. And I'm probably gonna hold the cake. And then the knife just goes, and then I'm just sawing without my elbow moving and rotating it around. We have this brand new knife. I'm trying to keep the knife parallel to the floor. And then I have this chunk that I'll just toss. If I take a look at it, oh, that's not very good at all. So I end up doing this a few times where I kind of get down to the side and look at it and see how straight it is. It kind of goes a little sideways, so I didn't stay level enough. So I'm going to try again and try to really keep my knife level. I don't want to take so much of the cake off, but I don't want these sort of big lips or for it to be exceptionally sideways. So try again to stay. And if it's not like fully flat and perfect, that's okay too. That looks like it worked out better. I'm just taking these leftover chunks of cake and just dumping them in the snack bowl.
And I'm taking the leftover things from the snack bowl and eating them.
So this actually looks pretty good. This is pretty level. It's not totally flat, but I'm happy enough with it. So I'm gonna do this with my second one. If you guys feel good to go ahead and do it with yours, just remembering to try to keep the knife parallel to the ground. So I'm just looking at it to decide where does it make the most sense to start my knife part here. My cakes ended up with sort of exceptionally large domes, so I'm kind of taking a
Try mine now.
The tops are, in my opinion, the very best part of the cake anyhow.
Yeah, I'm thinking that and some whipped cream filling is lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Once you do it, you can just kind of keep going down, take a look at it, and try to get it as level as you can.
Is it supposed to be so gooey? Mine's
Yeah,
just
it's pretty wet, right? Yeah.
okay.
And you can just like wipe off your knife with a paper towel or wash it in between, but the top part of your cake is really wet, right?
Okay.
Mine, because I ate part of it last night, is not as wet as usual because that part is inside of my belly. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna wipe down my knife before I do my next part here.
So I noticed I have sort of a little problem. I had put my cakes on the cooling rack dome side down, and they stuck terribly. Should I have flipped them over flower side down, right? And they wouldn't have stuck to my rack?
That's what Jenny usually cools hers. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, so if you are doing a 3-layer,
I cut my hair today, yeah.
which I think is, I know Lucy has 3 pans, so maybe just Eric and Amaris, you're gonna take whichever cake is fatter and cut that in half. Or for you people who may want to do this in the future, you can watch. I was not very scientific, and my 2 cakes are pretty similar in size. It's hard. This one is hardly even bigger than the other one, so I'm gonna just go ahead and split it anyways. I'm considering making it a 4-layer cake, but let's just start off with cutting one of them. So it's the same idea where you're looking for the halfway point and then really trying to keep your knife level and your elbow straight, and then just sawing so you don't end up with it super sideways. So getting it level with the ground and then kind of rotating it through so it meets the other one. Eric, did you already split your gigantic one? Did it come out even? Yeah, I'm sort of wishing, I felt like it was too much to try to do the weighing half and half last night, but I wish that I had, so that I ended up with really.
That's okay. Now you learn from that.
Yeah. I don't know. Should I go for 4? I'm gonna get crazy. I don't know if I've ever made a 4-layer cake. I'm gonna just go ahead and do that.
You should probably do it since they're both so equal.
Right. As you cut them, once you're done, you want to kind of shake off and get rid of all of the crumbs from everywhere. You can put it, have the nice side, the part that was the bottom of the cake facing up while it's just sitting there, and then just kind of get rid of crumbs off your work area as best as you can.
So where should the cake be? Like in my cake pan, or on the turntable, or on the metal gray thing?
It doesn't really matter right now. We're gonna go make frosting and filling, and the cakes are just gonna get set aside. So I just have mine sitting just on top of each other in my cake carrier, mostly because that's just a surface I could put them on. But it doesn't really matter. They just need to be kind of out of the way for now. So I have crumbs all over my turntable, so I'm gonna just go get rid of them. So make sure your whole area is clean as best you can to get rid of the crumbs.
Mark just came back from the grocery store and said that about a half a mile from here, there's a path through the woods where a small tornado touched down.
Wow.
Wow.
You know
Yeah,
what?
I saw the tornado warnings and I was kind of like, is it even possible for tornadoes to hit Boston? Like, I don't know how that would work.
It's always possible. It's probably not likely, but
All right, so our work surfaces are clean. All of our cakes are,
Ooh, time out.
level.
I didn't do my shorter one yet, but it looks pretty level already. Do you think I should?
it looks pretty wet.
It's not that unlevel. Should I do it anyway?
I would do just a little bit, like you don't need to go far down on the cake, but just
Okay.
take off the top just a little bit.
Sorry, I'm holding up.
Yeah, no problem.
Eric, put your thing down so I can see your levels. Nice.
Well, Jenny, here's the thing. So like Amaris just said, it's pretty level. And once I put the filling in, and then I take the top of the other one and put it down and use the bottom of the third one, I didn't level anything.
You should level it.
Because
Yeah.
the top of my cake, the cake top is gonna be the bottom of one of my things.
Right.
Yeah, but you're gonna have a gap around the edge.
Yeah, and you'll have like your filling, you'll end up, it's still a little bit domed, so then you're gonna have like more filling on the side and not
Yes.
Yeah,
flat. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just do it. Just level it. You'll have more filling. Let
Right.
that motivate you.
More filling and then more to snack on right now.
Yum, yum.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it being like as flat as it can be, so that you can have nice clean surfaces to work on. All right, let's go ahead. I know some people are not making whipped cream, and so we'll go ahead and start that. And I think Amaris isn't making whipped cream and she's not ready, so that's fine anyhow. So go ahead and get your heavy cream and bowl and whisk out of the fridge. And stick this on. All right.
I leveled.
I'll be careful with the other one.
So I'm pretty low key with the whipped cream proportions. The recipe I have calls for 2.5 cups of heavy cream, but a pint only has 2 cups in it. So I generally just buy a pint and it all works out fine. If you're making a full-sized cake, you want to use a full pint, or if you have 2.5 cups, use 2.5 cups. I think I'm just gonna use all of it, and we'll have extra whipped cream, and I'll.
Never have too much whipped cream.
Right.
Right. You'll find something to do with it.
We've been known to just buy cans of whipped cream and just eat it, honestly.
David's over here ready to jump in.
No judgment. No judgment, guys.
Yeah.
So shake it and pour it in the bowl.
Yep. So go ahead and pour it in the bowl, and then we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of confectioner's sugar.
Were you able to get sugar, or were you out already?
I would, if you're using just a pint, I would do a confectioner's sugar 1/4 cup that isn't like a mounded one, but that's like just barely a 1/4 cup.
Isn't this top shelf confectionery?
Yeah, but I need like 4 cups for the buttercream frosting and a 1/4 cup for the
Jenny, does Laura need to sift?
You don't need to sift it for the whipped cream, no.
Oh, okay. Oh, so this is the quarter cup that I didn't measure, not out of the one I measured.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we're
Wait,
doing
what's left?
half a teaspoon of vanilla extract.
How much vanilla extract? I'm sorry.
A half a teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon.
I'm actually making my whipped cream coffee flavored. So I'm going to add some instant coffee into my whipped cream. If I had Oreos, I would make a coffee Oreo whipped cream, but I do not have any
I could do that.
I would share them with you if you didn't live so far away.
Oreo.
No,
Let's
And I didn't eat them all.
that's the thing. The recipe can be.
I'm gonna do probably like, I don't know, a teaspoon and a half of instant coffee. Sure. And then we're gonna go ahead and whip it. I think everybody's using a KitchenAid, right?
Yeah.
You can start it a little slow so that you don't shoot your powdered sugar everywhere.
Don't pull a
And then-
David.
And then go ahead and raise it. We're aiming for whipping it until it's stiff. Let's just turn it on. I'm gonna put myself on mute and then I'll come back once mine starts to look good. We don't wanna over whip it.
So what number should I put it on?
Probably like 6 maybe?
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna mute myself. All right, I'm gonna turn it off and just check, take a look at how it looks. So that is not stiff. That is still way too liquidy, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it some more. You can probably try it and lift it up to 8 as well for mixing speed. All right, so it's looking pretty stiff now. If I go,
Jenny, does mine look good?
yeah, I think so. Take your thing and just look and
Looks
see.
like real whipped cream from the store.
Yeah, then it's probably good. I'm gonna do mine just a little bit longer so I don't end up with it feeling kind of liquidy. You want it to be not too liquidy, but not too thick either. So I'm gonna give mine just another, whatever.
No,
20
right?
seconds maybe. Mmm.
Try it, maybe.
Tastes good. Yum, yum.
Did you like it? Did you like it?
Give him a little cake through now.
No, you can give him a little cake.
Cake is really good.
Plays a different finger. Doesn't have much flavor. Maybe I should put more vanilla.
All right, we'll call that good. If you have only one bowl for your KitchenAid, which I think is everybody, you're gonna wanna use a spatula and gently, you don't wanna really mix this whipped cream. You wanna just kinda dump it into another bowl and then cover it and put it in the fridge. You probably would be okay with not covering it as well. But you don't want to sit there and mix it and push out the air because that'll make it collapse. You want to enjoy it being all nice and puffy and just gently.
Jenny, do you think it'll fit in my 4-cup thing?
Yeah.
Are you doing a double batch? Or you're making the same
She's
amount?
doing the same amount. Yeah, I think so, Lee.
All right.
And then you want to get your whisk all clean as well so you can be ready for frosting. Wanna try it?
Jackson approves of the cake and the whipped cream frosting.
I made mine a little too coffee.
No such thing. Jenny, if we wanted to add like cocoa powder or something to make this chocolatey, could you or no? It'll mess it up.
Not anymore. Anything you would want to have added, you would want to have added when it was still in liquid form. Now that it's whipped cream, you want to do pretty minimal pushing it around and moving it so that it doesn't deflate.
Okay, so if I wanted to add cocoa powder, make it like
Oh,
chocolate.
sorry. If you're adding Oreos, you have to fold them in now. Sorry, totally forgot.
Oh!
Take Oreos and you're just going to fold them in. So just take it, put it in, and then just kind of gently fold it around.
The whole bag, right?
Yep, your whole bag of 20 crushed up Oreos.
Made that. Yeah. When they're growing.
When did you run? Oh, look at there's probably like one stuck in the bowl.
I'm not going to bother to cover my whipped cream. I'm just going to stick it right.
No, you want to eat
Want more
it.
whipped cream?
Mom. Mom.
So picture trying to open it with a cake in it. Don't bother. We looked at it. And we another plate. No, actually. Cover it.
Yeah.
That'll cover it.
Live studio audience. Is that what you said? All right.
Wait, I'm almost done.
It is, well, I'm just going to talk while you're finishing, Lisa. It's time for us to now move on to making frosting. I see mostly empty screens, so I'm just going to wait for confirmation that folks are ready to do frosting.
Okay.
She's ready for frosting. Amherst, you ready for frosting? Alice, good.
I gotta cover my stuff.
Eric, did you put the Oreos in your whipped cream? Yeah, cool.
So what flavor buttercream do you want? Chocolate?
Jenny, it just fits in case you're wondering.
Okay.
A 4-cup thing.
Because I can make it chocolate buttercream. How about coffee buttercream? I have some coffee flavoring that we got up at King Arthur.
All right. So for frosting, I know there was some discussion last night about people doing chocolate frosting and white frosting. I think for simplicity's sake, because there's a lot going on, I'm going to do regular vanilla buttercream frosting, which will be white that you can do different colors with or keep white. If you want to do chocolate, go ahead and do chocolate. I think doing both, I can't handle trying to orchestrate people doing both.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do both, you're on your own, essentially. I mean that in a loving way. But I would recommend to just pick one, and you can, if you do chocolate, you can pipe chocolate frosting fine. You just can't color it very well. So try to keep it a little bit on the simple side.
Penny, I did some maybe 45 minutes of research this morning on this question. And it turns out like I couldn't find a recipe that was like, you start with your regular and then just add chocolate. So I think I decided I was just gonna switch and follow along. So I have a white, but maybe pipe chocolate on the top. So you know how you were saying you gradually add like milk or whatever? Couldn't I just for the whatever I'm using on the top, like a decoration, I could just add cocoa
4 ounces.
powder to that probably?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. I think that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Cool. All right, so let's get butter in our bowl here to get our frosting made. For people who are making little cakes, you are going to do 1 stick of butter. For people who are doing regular size cakes, you're going to do 2 sticks of butter.
That whole cake with you and I each.
Yep.
If we saw.
Over a week.
So do we need a cup or a half cup of butter?
For a
half-
full-size cake, you want 1 cup of butter.
So that's 4 sticks of butter. It's either 2 or 4, I think.
1 stick of butter is a half a cup.
Oh, okay. It's a 1/4 pound. I'm sorry. Okay. So I used 2. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, we had a lot of confusion on that as well.
Weren't you a math major?
No, I wasn't a math major.
Next, you are doing your, let me think about this.
Lisa. And then,
powdered sugar. So little cakes, you are doing 2 cups of powdered sugar. Full-size cakes, you're doing 4 cups of powdered sugar.
no, but you can.
Now, Lauren, did you sift yours? Because we sifted ours last night.
I didn't.
I use that term loosely because I just put it through a strainer and it didn't really do much.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not really a deal
I'll
breaker.
shake it. Maybe I'll just shake it in the container first.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah, it helps make the frosting a little smoother, but
Okay.
if you
Lauren,
haven't already,
Lauren, I just used this thing and the holes were so big, I don't think it really did anything.
That's
I want to start with just half of the powder if you haven't put it all in already, because it's gonna fly everywhere. Full-size cakes, you are doing 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Half-size cakes, you are doing 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract.
And it's not overly sweet either, right?
I'm shocked, honestly.
Oh, I need more milk extract.
Yeah, I'm shocked just because I haven't had it good.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I have a
Wow.
recipe for a chocolate mayonnaise cake. This is good though. This is a really. Did you leave that in the bathroom for
I'm
me?
gonna go play with my pressure washer.
Oh,
I'm tired of my truck.
And then we are going with adding a tablespoon of milk for the small cakes or 2 tablespoons of milk for the big cakes.
Yeah, I'm gonna think.
it goes in the pantry closet there.
Jenny, this is so much easier when you just tell us what to do than to have to go back and read a recipe.
Yeah.
Especially when like the recipe's on the phone and then it keeps like getting dim and you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa, would that be the 7th grade approach?
Yes.
I don't want to read the directions. Just tell me what to do.
Yes. Yeah, this is like so much easier.
All right. So once you have your butter, milk, vanilla, and at least some of the sugar in, you can go ahead and put it in the mixer. You're going to want to eventually add all of the sugar, but I'm going to start with it kind of low to just get it moving. In hindsight, I feel like...
Are we whisking or paddling?
Whisking. I maybe wanted to have beat the butter a little more before adding the sugar, but that's all right.
Wait, did you beat the butter at all?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So get it moving. All right. Now I can add a little more. Just kind of keep adding the sugar to reduce the fear of it
Going everywhere.
shooting everywhere.
Jenny, do you have that shield on yours?
I do have it on here. It
I need that.
doesn't really work as great as I would like it to.
I always just use my hands.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just dump everything in here and then put it on higher.
Jenny, look, all of it is in the whisk.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So just like make it go higher, maybe?
Yeah. Once you feel like, yeah, I'm gonna put it on stir and then just keep raising it. I have a cloud of powder that I'm currently breathing, but.
So what, I'm gonna put you on mute, but what number do I go to?
6. Just
Okay.
so it starts whipping it. I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself too, but get it whipping so that you start getting it all really integrated and mixed. Eight might even actually be good. I just went up to 8. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take a spatula and scrape down the sides to get everything mixed in. All right. Is everyone's frosting like fully mixed in here?
Yep, just about.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take out, for the people doing small cakes, a quarter of a cup, and for the people doing full-size cakes, a half a cup that you're just gonna take out and set aside. This is our stiffest frosting.
Hey, Jenny, I have a question about this.
Mm-hmm.
If we typically would use the stiffest frosting between the layers, and we're using whipped cream between the layers, do we need stiff frosting?
Yes, because we need to build a dam for the whipped cream.
Okay.
And same with if you're doing jam, you need to build a dam to hold the jam in.
Jenny, half a cup for a big cake?
Yep.
And then put it in the fridge or just leave it on the counter?
You can put it in the fridge.
What do you usually do?
Well, that's the thing, is that this is a fun a frosting with butter, and I usually work with Crisco, so this is a little bit more texturally sensitive, and it's warmer today than it's been, so we can put it in the fridge for just a minute or two is fine.
Are we going to be piping it?
Yeah.
Just be careful, because I've done that before where like if you put it in the fridge for too long, you just can't pipe it. You have to like warm it back up.
Hard. Yeah.
And it's really hard to like do that evenly without just setting it out on the counter for several hours.
Let's just leave it out. Mine's not terribly hot, so leave it out. That's fine. We're gonna go ahead and add. My recipe calls for adding another tablespoon of milk for my medium frosting. My frosting is actually pretty soft already, so I'm gonna add less than a tablespoon. You want your frosting right now to be pretty thick. So what we just pulled out is with our thickest for making a dam, and then the next stuff we're gonna pull out is the stuff we're going to pipe. And I want reasonably stiff frosting to pipe. So if it seems quite soft, I wouldn't add any more milk. The way we can make it stiffer is adding sugar. We can make it softer by adding milk.
How much milk for a full recipe?
For a full recipe, it would be 2 tablespoons, but I would probably just do 1 tablespoon, quite honestly, because it might just get a little bit too thin. So where's my milk? I'm gonna do just a tiny bit. Oh, that wasn't.
Sorry.
All right, and then you're gonna go ahead and take another 1/4 cup for the small cakes or 1/2 cup for the big cakes, and set that aside. This is your medium frosting.
1/2 cup, 1/2 cup thing.
You should be able to just use the same measuring cup you used earlier.
Well, I just left it in the measuring cup.
Oh, put it into a bowl.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
I did the same thing, Lisa.
I was like, what? Okay.
And then for our last frosting, we're just gonna add a little bit more milk and then go ahead and mix it. It's supposed to be another tablespoon. My frosting is looking pretty thin over here, so I'm gonna do just a tiny bit more, I think.
Gosh.
So the frosting recipes are reasonably forgiving. Like I said, add milk to thin it, add powdered sugar to thicken it. You don't really want to have to go back and forth a bunch, but if it ends up like, gosh, this is so watery, you can just add sugar to fix it. All right, I'm gonna get all the frosting off of my whisk and then scrape down the sides so that it's all neatly piled up. If I leave it just stuck on the sides, it will potentially get dried and hardened before I can use it. I also usually take my whisk and just whip it on the sides of my bowl, that kind of gets a lot of the frosting off.
Oh, yum. She'll love them.
Usually I hey Madeline, looks good. So usually I do what Madeline's doing, which is sit here and lick this. But I'm worried that I might end up wanting to use it again if my frosting ends up not the texture I want. So I'm gonna just leave it attached to my KitchenAid, just in case. Like I said, the texture of this frosting is a little bit more fickle. And it's sensitive to the temperature. All right. Tastes good. So is everybody done making their frosting? Everybody has frosting made? Yep, good, okay. We're now going to get the stiffest frosting into a piping bag. I'm actually gonna take, well, no, it's fine, I'll leave it out. For this, I like to use a pint glass. You can use a glass. If you're using a Ziploc bag, you might not end up really even needing this. Just gonna get a piping bag. For people who have tips, Eric, I would say for you to use a bag with no tip on it. Lisa, you have a number 12 tip. Go ahead and use that. So this is just a tip that has a circular opening. If you don't have any tips, you're gonna want a Ziploc bag where you just cut a hole. What we're gonna be piping is the dam that will go around the outside of the cake. So we want a hole that will just make like a circle that'll go on the outside of the top of one cake.
So I cut the little end off my bag.
Put the coupler in first.
This thing?
Do you have a coupler?
Yeah. Before I cut the hole?
Put the coupler in and then you can see where to cut it.
Want me to go get some?
No, but
So it can
we
sit in the
could have put it on the list.
So let me see, are you cutting yours?
Well, I'm using one that is already pre-cut. I have a reusable bag.
So how do I cut it, like right where the thing is?
Yeah, or even a little bit lower is fine. Like I said, if you're using a Ziploc bag, let me grab one. So. This is just a small amount of frosting, so you could use a small one is fine, but you're just gonna get the tip and just cut a hole at the tip of the bag. So I've got my tip on.
How much should be cut, do you think? It's hard to say how.
Go smaller and bigger.
Yeah, say I would start small.
Okay.
Yeah. Also be aware of where the tip, where you leave the cut up plastic piece of tip, people with bags and with it, because you end up with like these little pieces of plastic floating around and then they end up in your cake and nobody wants plastic in their cake. So bag, this is for people with bags. You probably don't need to do it with a Ziploc. I'm gonna take it, spin it, put it in my cup, and then put my bag like this. So this will make it really easy for me to put frosting in without getting it all on the edge of my bag. So it's nice and easy here.
And we're using the first batch of frosting, the hardest, correct?
Yep, the hardest, yep. And I don't remember which is which, and they both feel pretty soft, so yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just scoop that in. The nice part of having it, in the cup is that I can just scrape along the edges to get it in there.
Jenny, I had to go for a second. I missed everything. What do I do with my, oh, I put it over a cup?
Yeah, but take the bottom of it and twist it. Let me get another bag to show you.
Okay, sorry. Take the bottom, twist it.
Twist it, and then put it in your cup
Yep.
upside down, like that. Yep. And then put it in the pint glass and fold this over the pint glass.
This is brilliant. It's like the worst part of using the piping bags is getting the frosting in. Now I'm using my number 1 that we took out.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, good.
And the further you have the bag folded over the cup, the easier, especially for Eric and Lisa with the big piping bags. And then I'm gonna go ahead, pull it out of the cup and try really hard to not let it touch the edges. And then hold the top of it and squeeze to get it down. Same idea with the Ziploc bag. I'm here, I squeeze it down. I'm eventually gonna wanna take it and twist it. And then you're holding it between your thumb and your pointer finger to have good control here. So here, it's turned. I'm not applying any pressure, so there's nothing coming out the bottom. We have warm hands and there's butter in here, so our hands are gonna heat up the butter. So if you don't, let's not push on it. We'll put it down for now, and we're gonna get our cakes. I just gotta move some space here. So this is when you're gonna wanna get what your final resting place for your cake is gonna be. For me, I got my cake round. I know Lisa made one. So essentially, you wanna first pick what is going to be the very top of your cake, and you actually use the upside down part of one of the cakes. So I cut, this is the part of the cake that I cut. This is the bottom part that was in the pan. This is gonna become the top of my cake. So I'm gonna set that aside as the last thing I use. So the upside down of the cake ends up being the very top of your cake.
So we have like 2 of those. So I have one regular one on this thing, and then I have the other one for later.
Yep, so it doesn't really matter. I usually just look at which one looks the nicest to decide which one will be the top, which one has the least blemishes or chunks hanging off. And I'm gonna just pull this in for us. And we're gonna go ahead.
We put it back on the turntable?
Yep, back on the turntable.
Sorry, I gotta get mine.
And I have to do this 3 times since I have 4 layers. I have my piping bag. I'm just gonna gently squeeze. I can use my turntable. I'm right on the edge of the cake. I don't want to be so close to the edge that it might fall off, but I don't want to be really far in either, because what's going to happen is this is my dam or my wall, and then I'm going to put whipped cream in here. So go ahead and pipe out.
Jenny, sorry, I missed something. So we set aside our top layer, and now we're doing the bottom layer of the cake, right?
Yeah, you can put down, now you can put down whatever you want. It's really just the top piece that matters. But actually you only have 2 pieces, right? Or you have 3?
3.
Yeah, so I put down as my bottom, one of the bottoms is the bottom piece. So whatever one was a bottom in the cake pan, make that be the base of your cake.
Okay, so the leveled off part should be facing up essentially.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's a good way to think of it.
Thank you.
And then once you have a dam, sometimes I make my dam 2 layers high, depending on how much filling I want to put in. For Lisa, who's only doing a 2-layer cake, you might want to do a double high dam so that you can put that much more filling in it. If you're doing a 3-layer cake, you might want to just do a 1-layer high dam. It doesn't super matter. Once you have a dam set up, you can then go ahead and put in whatever filling you want. So if you're doing jam, put your jam in. If you're doing whipped cream, and I can show you the sort of technique for putting that in. Gonna get my offset spatula or a butter knife. And I'm gonna just start with a dollop here, toss it on, and then with it on there, doing just sort of smooth back and forth motions to spread it out. You don't want to go and lift up because you end up pulling it away from the cake and then you pull out crumbs. So just sort of smooth motion side to side to get it spread out.
Is this the only time I'm using the whipped cream stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
So,
I feel like I have a lot.
yes. In hindsight, perhaps since you're only doing 2 layers, you should have halved it, but now you can eat a lot of whipped cream. Or you can freeze it. So Lisa, I would say that you should definitely do a double high dam.
I did.
Maybe even a triple high.
All right, I'm on it.
Sometimes I will pipe in a dam after I've put on my filling. So right now, my filling is quite a bit higher than my dam. So I probably need to actually...
I just don't have that much stiff frosting left.
Yeah, and you can just take some from your other ones. I'm probably going to run out of stiff frosting as well. Let me go ahead and pipe in. Well, this is the only thing you're going to use the stiff frosting for, Lisa, and you're not doing any more layers, so.
Right. I know. I just feel like I just used it all. It's like mine did the thing you said not to do where it fell off the edge.
Yeah, you're better to go closer in than further out. So I have all of these layers, so this is going to take me a little bit. I did look for the people with jam. I had talked about doing frosting first and then putting jam on. I also found cakes who just did jam in the middle with no filling, with no frosting. So that
did the cake absorb the jam though?
That did not appear to be the case in the pictures. So with the jam, if it's too thick, you should just whisk it a little bit or add a little, not very much water, or actually not add any water, just put it in the microwave for whatever, 10 seconds and get it to thin out a little bit. This is more complicated with having sort of this choose your own adventure thing where everybody's doing different things. Right. Go ahead and add another one. So my bowl of frosting is seeming a little melty, so I'm actually gonna just stick it in the fridge and set a timer and take it out in 5 minutes.
Your one that's in the mixing bowl?
Yeah. And I actually ran out of stiff frosting, so now I am stealing some of my medium frosting, so I'll have to deal with that. A trick.
You're right.
Let me show you. What was that, Amorous?
Because you have a 4th layer, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
A trick, if you are looking to slide things down in your bag, I have a bench scraper. You could do this with a spatula. You can do it with anything, but to clean out my bag, I just hold it on the very edges and then push the spatula or the bench scraper down, and that's how I can kind of gather up my frosting and make sure I kind of maximize it and not have it get lost in the bag. Though at some point I can feel that there is an air bubble in there and it's gonna burp or fart onto my cake, and I'll just deal with that when it happens. All right. So I know I'm a little behind everybody else since I have my 4th layer here. Has everybody got their cakes filled?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. How's it look?
Mine looks less level than it used to.
I think it looks good. Yeah. There's a good, that dam, whole idea of the dam was a game changer because I could put a lot of filling in there now. So I ended up with three level high wall.
Okay. David and I have a running joke about when I'm making cakes that he yells into the kitchen, do I need to get a straw? In that I had an error at one point where I tried to make a Nutella whipped cream and it was way too liquidy and the dam broke and there was just literally like liquid whipped cream pouring out the side of it.
Oh, wow.
Did they actually use a straw?
I think that we did actually get a straw and try to like suck it up. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So trying to get your whipped cream layer level is helpful, which Lisa may have
failed at
or sideways. So I'm just putting it on there and then kind of spinning the cake to get it leveled out and taking out. That's not level at all. But once you look at it from the downward angle. Eric, is yours all filled in? Oh yeah, that's beautiful. It's a tall boy too. All right, so I have like a super excessive amount of whipped cream left, which probably everybody else does as well.
Yeah. Like, I probably made half of what we made, not even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just freeze it and be ice cream.
Yeah. I think that I usually also really try to stuff in a lot. I don't know. Sorry. It'll taste good later. Great. We have it all put together. Go ahead and clean up any crumbs that are around. So I have all these crumbs on my cake board. I want to get a sort of crumb-free environment. Oh, I did not center my cake on my board. I also realized, which it doesn't super matter since none of us are, well, I think Lauren is actually taking her cake somewhere. That ideally, when you put your cake down, you would glue it to the cake board. So you would put some frosting on the board and then spread it a little bit and then put the cake on it so that it doesn't
move on the cake board. I almost always forget to do that, and it's usually okay. So if we had remembered, we would glue it down, but we didn't, so yeah.
Other thing, take it out of the fridge.
Yep, yeah. All right, so I had the problem where I had to steal some of my frosting, my medium frosting, in order to make my dam. So I'm gonna take out some of this and just set it aside for piping later. What you have left in your bowl is what we're gonna use. Well, actually, let's do it first and then we'll talk about that later. Can you clean the offset spatula for me, David?
It's totally crooked.
So you can try to repair that, Lisa. You can push down on it a little bit, or you can kind of try to troubleshoot where it is and pipe some frosting in there. I don't know. I can't see.
No problem. I think because it's getting like, see how it's like the frosting's hanging out the side.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll actually help that with the crumb layer, which is what we're gonna do right now.
Okay.
Before we start that, Jenny, I've got a question. My two layers are centered well over top of each other, but the top one has like a warp out the side. Should I just trim that with my serrated knife and get it more in line with the bottom as far as the roundness?
The cake itself is warped, or it's warped from the construction?
No, I think it's, see?
Oh yeah.
So should I just kind of level off that right side maybe? I think it's because I've put it, I know why it is. I think I've put pan bottom to pan bottom. Could that be why?
Are your pans, do your pans go outward?
Maybe just a little bit, yeah, as I look at them.
Wait, your pan was supposed to go, you're supposed to go bottom and then the top one is upside down. Is that what you did?
No, I didn't. Shoot.
So can you flip it?
The level, I put the cut level as the top and I should have flipped it over.
Right. Can you do it still, or did you smush it in?
I didn't press it. I don't know how.
Your top piece, you want that to be,
I should have flipped it.
What is the upside down part? I would say, Lauren, just go ahead and try to trim off a little bit.
Yeah.
And that.
Totally a learning experience. So I'm just going to put a note on my recipe card that I should have put them, I should have put the top side down for the top layer.
Yeah. Just try to remember, like the pan makes it more perfect than you make it with a knife. So you want that to be your top layer because it's like a little sweeter. Yeah.
All right. So we have our big bowl of thinned out frosting, and this is what we're going to use. We're going to do our crumb coat now. So this is going to be what we use to sort of lock everything in and make our blank canvas for decorating the cake. I don't want to contaminate my bowl of frosting with crumbs. So how do I usually deal with that? Let's grab an extra bowl, or a lot of people use the bowl that they put their cut pieces of cake in, and then they put their spare frosting in there. I'm gonna just use a whole different bowl, but this will just be where I put contaminated frosting.
So do I put the medium one? Or
no, so we're using the what we have the most of, which is the thinnest.
This is all I have to decorate my cake, half a cup?
Yes. Well, you're gonna end up with some of the other stuff left. Let's just start with the crumb coat.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't mixed up.
Recommend for now that you actually start with just watching, because this is sort of where a little more technique stuff comes in. I'm going to use my offset spatula. You could also do this with a butter knife is fine. So I'm going to get a nice big old blob on here. And then it's the same sort of side to side motion. And I'm spinning the cake as I do it. I don't want to go and lift up because that's how I pull things off. I don't want to touch the cake where I don't have any frosting. I just put it on the frosting and I'm always spreading frosting so that I don't ever sort of run out of it. Again, this is the crumb coat, so it's going to end up becoming very thin. And we'll go ahead and I'm going to get it so that it ends up kind of falling off the sides and then scraping it very gently. I just pulled out a little bit of crumb, that's fine. And then I eventually kind of, again, I'm doing that same sort of side to side motion. And I need some more frosting, but I don't want to put this in there because it's got those crumbs on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and scrape off the crumbs so I don't contaminate. And then I'm grabbing a little bit more. I can get it on the side. Same side to side motion. That was a ton of frosting, so that's probably going to end up covering my entire side of the cake here. And I'm just sort of trying to keep it perpendicular to the ground or parallel to the cake, and then spreading it around. So I'm going to keep going with this. It's okay that, I don't know how well you can see, I have all sorts of crumbs mixed in because this is going to go, this is my crumb layer that will glue in the crumbs, and I'll eventually put it in the fridge to let it kind of solidify. I don't want to use a ton of frosting. I want to, because this nobody's going to see. This is just to lock it in, so I'm trying to keep the frosting really thin. Get it with the side. And then just go, and this is where, like, Lisa had dams that were overflowing. I have dams that are underflowing where I actually have a gap. So I'm going to end up filling that with frosting so that I end up with a completely smooth thing. Right now I have a ton of frosting on my spatula. I'm just going to push it with my finger, and then I can put it back onto my spatula. Again, you're running your spatula or knife on the side of the cake and trying to kind of pull off as much as you can while filling it. And I can actually take the frosting that I put in the bowl as contaminated and just grab that and put that on the cake as well. I have a lot of gaps, so I need to sort of fill those in. Lisa, with her overflowing dams, will actually pull some of that frosting out and turn that into the crumb layer. I was gonna go take more frosting out of the bowl, but I just scraped the top of my cake, and now I have a whole bunch of frosting to work with again, because I'm aiming to not use a ton of frosting, but to have a thin layer everywhere. can go from the top, smooth it, and grab it so that it sort of drops off the sides.
There should be no gap between the cake and the metal thing, right?
Correct. Put the whipped cream in the fridge.
Sure.
Yep. So I'm just running this along the side, trying to get it smooth so that I have a totally smoothed out cake. And this, and David can attest, my crumb layer I don't usually obsess over, but once I put on my final layer of frosting, I can sit and obsess about making it smooth and completely flat for forever. He has to essentially tell me to just stop touching the cake because you can always try to make it look nicer. Eric, is your crumb layer done?
Yeah. I think this is gonna be more about taste than looks.
Why is that?
Well, because I have almost no frosting left.
Mine gives a whole new meaning to crumb layer.
If you have almost no frosting left, Eric, then you used way too much on the crumb layer. Bring your cake over so I can see it. Yeah, that's a lot of frosting.
So scrape it off, Eric, so it's just like cake in a thin, thin layer.
Yeah, use your spatula to run it along the sides, and it should be like, it ends up looking like an Oreo essentially, because you can see the chocolate.
Jenny, I need one of those cake turner things because this keeps falling off my microwave turntable.
Yeah, the microwave turntable is a stopgap hack kind of thing, but I don't know if it's working for, is anybody else doing the microwave?
It's working great for me. I've got the whole thing on my countertop on a tea towel, and then under my cake stand, I've got just a paper towel, and it's really workable.
Okay, I'm gonna try your method. I'm gonna get another towel. It keeps falling off.
How's everybody else's cake doing here? Are we very, very thin layers? Are we still working on it? What's happening?
It's good. I'm going to show it to you. Wait, where is it?
Okay, that also looks to me like a
Still
lot.
have a lot of frosting left.
Yeah, you used a lot on your crumb layer.
No, but I still have a lot of frosting.
You still have a lot. Okay, that's impressive. I would try to run something around the side of the cake and pull off a little bit of the frosting.
Okay, but then does it become unusable then?
Sort of, yeah. But it just, well, I guess it depends on how much you like frosting. I don't actually like a lot of frosting, but you also can just have a lot of frosting and then not eat it, and that's fine too.
I prefer frosting over cake, to be honest. So I'm thinking.
Fair enough. Alice, you look like I can see like some holes. No, they're not? Okay. What is that right there that's facing the camera? That like...
There's like 2 spots.
Yeah. Are those like holes direct to the cake, or are they covered in frosting? So you can see on mine like this very black, like it looks very dark, but it's still completely covered in frosting. It's fully sucked.
Yeah, that's the same. This is maybe like a tiny space into like the dam wasn't right against the edge, but it's still just all frosting.
Gotcha. Cool.
Do your like, don't cover it too thick method vape here. But I think when I add more frosting at the end, it'll be fine.
Cool. So I have a bunch of frosting at my base. So I'm just gonna get, I'm out of paper towels. If I had a paper towel, I'd probably use a wet paper towel. I think I'm gonna just try to kind of use my finger. Essentially, you just want to somehow clean up the frosting that's maybe on your cake board. All right, not totally level, but that's fine. It adds personality. All right, so I'm gonna take my cake that is fully crumb layered and covered and put it in the fridge for it to get, the frosting will harden a little bit and that'll kind of help glue everything together. But this is now my blank canvas. Very carefully pick it up and put it in the fridge. Yep, they're on the door.
I'm gonna clear a spot before I go and try and put it in the fridge.
Jenny and Dave, I feel like this happens to me every time where you're like, oh, and at this point we just stick it in the fridge, and every single time I'm like, there's nowhere in my fridge that I could fit a whole whatever we're making. So
Yeah,
my crumb layer is not going to be too hard.
Can you see mine? It's a little crooked, but it's all right.
Is it
That looks good.
flush, like the sides flat, or is it bowed out?
It's like a little
That
bit.
looks pretty good. Yeah.
It's like a little bit of both. It's all good.
I like
Open doors and sweating.
I'm just gonna mute myself for a sec while I think. All right, so our cake is now quote unquote cooking in the fridge. So I thought we might want to practice some piping techniques. I know Lisa and Eric both have tips. Does anybody else have any cake tips? I know Lucy does. Lauren, Alice, and Amaris, are you all doing just Ziploc bags, no tips?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fine. Mine is, my cake is pretty crumbly on that layer. The error I made in flipping the cake, or not flipping the cake, really created havoc. So yeah, I'm giving myself permission to just use this as a learning experience, but I think I still will use some piping, but I'm not gonna fret over it. I'm more concerned about trying to just square up the sides with the texture, I think.
Yeah. And like I sent in the email, there's a bunch of things you can do that involve no piping at all.
Yeah.
That is simpler both for managing how much frosting you have as well as just the decorating, because you can pipe and decorate for hours and hours. So keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Let's do
Can you explain about the difference in uses of the frosting we have left? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. So I'm not super in love with the frosting situation right now, if I'm totally honest. Like I said, I usually I like to decorate with a different frosting, but this one tastes better. So right now we have left our medium frosting, which is what we pulled out second. That is what will get piped onto the cake if you are doing any piping. The bigger bowl is the smoother stuff, and that is what will be the base layer of the cake. So
that wraps all around neatly of what we already have.
Right. So essentially we're going to do what we did for the crumb layer with more frosting so that it is covered and looks nice. So this is sort of where it becomes more choose your own adventure in the what are you doing for your decorations for what you need for frosting. So if you are planning on doing something that involves really no piping at all, then you don't need a lot of piping frosting. If you're going to do a lot of piping, then you want to sort of set that aside. The frosting actually goes a pretty long way. So that's why I made more frosting than I should need for a little cake, because I worry about running out. Eric, what happened with your cake? Did you pull off a lot of it, or?
No, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. You also, if you have an excessive amount of whipped cream, can use whipped cream as a frosting.
Oh, that's an idea, because I'm sort of in the same position that Eric is. I just have my medium consistency left.
Right, which is like half a cup.
Yeah. So I may use that for the sides and then do the top with my leftover whipped cream.
Yeah, or you could, a half a cup will, I could probably cover a cake with a half a cup and have it look nice, but where you're just as like your first learning, you're going to end up thicker on the frosting probably. Yeah. But you can do with whipped cream a lot of the same things that you do with frosting. Not as much piping because it collapses a little bit. But
oh yeah, that makes
sense. Jenny, for the whipped cream frosting, if I put in cream of tartar, that would harden it up, and then I could pipe.
Yeah, I don't know about adding it now, because the more that you touch it or that you whip it, it will start to collapse. So you can do a quick search online and see can I add cream of tartar? My other, I've done a stabilized whipped cream, and that was actually done with gelatin, but that was done when it was getting whipped. I don't know about adding cream of tartar after you've already whipped it. So try and do it.
Eric, you wouldn't be able to pipe the Oreo crumbs through your tip.
If I used a thick tip.
He has that.
I did not crush my Oreos very much. I have big chunks.
Yeah, that is also a problem. I forgot that you have Oreo in there. Is that it? I have tried piping that and had it get stuck. I think Release the Shower, actually, I tried piping Oreo whipped cream and it did not really work that well.
No. So I have this much left in my bowl. Should I put it in the fridge, or do you think it's fine out? Decent amount. I don't know.
And what do you have left for the other type?
I just combined them because it wasn't crummy.
No, is that all the frosting you have total?
Well, yeah, and then I have the half a cup from the like thicker one. And then this is like the one, this is like the big one.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better to leave it out so it's softer to spread? You can get it thinner.
Yeah, you just don't want it super thin.
Too bad right now.
I would maybe toss just another scoopful into the medium frosting bowl.
Into this one?
Yeah.
Okay. And just mix it up.
Yeah.
So I put this in a bag like I did with the other stuff?
No, because we haven't done any coloring yet. I had planned for us to practice some piping techniques, but I'm kind of feeling like we're going to end up running out of steam to finish our cakes. So,
so let's just move on. That's cool.
Yeah, so we'll pass on that. So now is the what are you going to do with your cake? I will tell you what I have planned, and then you can think about how this relates to you. I'm planning on frosting my cake with yellow frosting and then doing sort of diagonal lines on it. Though I might do sideways lines. Those are both pictures that I sent you. And then I'm gonna pipe some stars on top. So when I think now about what do I have left for frosting, I'm gonna take my reasonable amount of frosting and I'm gonna turn it yellow. And then I have the rest of the frosting left, and I'm going to make 2 or 3 different colors that I want to pipe onto the top of my cake. So to do that, a little bit of frosting, especially for piping, actually goes a really long way. So if you think about I'm gonna pipe stars on the cake, if I piped 10 red stars, that is not very much frosting at all. It's actually a very small amount of frosting. So you might not have a lot of frosting left, but for piping, it goes a pretty long way. But let's start with putting it on, fully covering our cakes. Okay, good.
So we use the medium or the?
To fully cover your cake, you're using the softer, what you have a lot of.
Oh, okay.
And this is where it sort of becomes a crapshoot of knowing if you have enough frosting or not.
So are we're just spreading that on top of the crumb layer?
Yeah. Are you gonna color it, Lisa?
Yeah, but we don't put it in the bag, right? We just spread it on with the knife?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Jackson, what color should we make it? I'll let Jackson pick.
With coloring, for the gel coloring, I think some of you have squeeze tubes. I have a tub.
What color?
I need to use a toothpick, and I can only use that toothpick once. And I'm gonna grab some gel and then take it and just stick it in my frosting and try to get all the gel off of the toothpick, and then mix it in. I like really strong colors, so I use a lot of gel. My mother-in-law doesn't use a whole lot, but I just like sort of bold, big colors. The coloring actually gets stronger over time, so they recommend that you make it and then let it sit and mix it more later, but I don't really ever do that.
So I just squeeze in the gel?
Yep.
Now what did you say about toothpick?
You have a squeezy, so you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, okay.
But you always want to toss the toothpick if you're sticking it into gel. It just goes in once because you don't want to contaminate it with other.
Okay. What color is everybody else doing?
Oh, is that blue, Eric?
Blue, yeah.
Nice. It looks like it needs to maybe get mixed a little more.
I decided to add cocoa powder to this step, so I'm having a chocolate.
Okay. That'll be interesting to see how that turns out. I've actually never done a chocolate frosting.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it turns out too, because I like chocolate everything.
I added a little cocoa powder to my crummy discard frosting to see if it would still taste right. It tasted good, so then I went all out.
Cool. You gotta remember, because I won't be able to run down. So,
What do you want?
put a timer on 5 minutes. Yeah, it's only pants and a shirt and a vest.
I did put my other frosting that I'm not mixing. I just put it in the fridge to let it harden a little bit. I'm gonna put a timer so I don't forget about it.
Tell me when your timer's up.
Okay.
Set them up on that table. Where's that table?
Bring them down.
It was good. I'm doing yellow too because I think it'll be nice and springy.
Yeah.
Monday's my sister's 40th birthday, so we're having like a little virtual thing tomorrow, and I decided to make this cake for her even though she's not going to be able to have it.
Oh, that's nice.
I have actually made a birthday cake for my sister in which she didn't have any of it either, because I made it for a Christmas party that got like sort of snowed out. Everybody else came except she didn't come because it's a further drive. So then it was like, we called and was like, here's your birthday cake. We're going to eat it right now.
Oh, it was so sad.
It was sad.
I hate driving in snow. I'm like a grandma.
I don't blame you.
I'm like a nervous Nelly.
All right. So I got a nice, it looks a lot brighter in there than on here. It's sort of a goldenrod yellow. I don't know. Like I said, it'll get darker as I go. What are you doing for color, Lucy? Are you doing color? Oh, nice green. Nice. The other thing with this frosting is that if you look at your other frosting you have not colored, is that it's not really truly white because of the butter and the vanilla extract. So you can read things online about like true white frosting. When I make my the frosting that's with Crisco, I actually use a clear vanilla extract and a clear butter extract so that I get truly bright white frosting. And that's nice. And so if you've got your frosting ready, you can get your turntable and cake ready. I have lost my turntable.
So use the offset knife and do it just like we did before, but make it a little thicker?
Yeah, a pretty good bit thicker. Well, for me, a good bit thicker because I made mine very thin in the first place. For Eric, not any thicker. Maybe for Lauren, not any thicker. But same idea, you're putting it on, doing the sweeping sideways motion, never lifting up and away, and always putting the knife where there's already frosting so that you're just kind of spreading it around. So I'm gonna just dump a good old globular here. I'm gonna take my screen and turn it down so you can see better. And I got my offset spatula or my knife, and I have a ton of frosting on here. This will probably cover my entire cake. And I'm again doing just the sideways motion and getting it so that the frosting will cascade off the side. You can kind of see it cascading off the sides there. And then I will eventually grab that and wrap it around.
So Jenny, for those of us who aren't coloring, should I schmooze around my frosting to get it sort of more viscous?
Texturally, it should probably be fine. I mean, you can like mix it up a little bit, but I would think that, wait, Lauren, is that your medium frosting?
Yeah.
But, well, quite honestly, there's my timer to take my stuff out of the fridge.
Yours looks so nice and creamy. I just don't think mine's going to be but it actually it's pretty creamy.
Okay, as I say, if you're feeling like it's thick, you can also add some milk, but I wouldn't add a ton.
Yeah.
Lisa, did you hear me to take it out of the fridge?
Yep.
Okay. And then I always get a little nervous with this, but I'm just gonna, see, and now I have exposed my cake, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab
Yeah,
some.
I'm nervous about going around the edge too.
Yeah, so this is where the I end up using more frosting than I would really prefer to eat, solely for the ease of decorating. So you can put it all on and then end up taking it off once it's my frosting is actually more liquidy than I would really prefer to be working with right now. But it is what it is, I think.
My spinning is sucking. Let's take off this cheap paper towel. Try it on the towel.
I don't think Eric's computer is even in the kitchen anymore. Who knows what happened to him? Is that in his kitchen? No.
Yeah.
What's happening over there, Eric?
Oh, it's just facing the
Oh, that looks nice. I mean, it's kind of far away, so I probably can't see any.
Yeah, that's why I keep it far away.
Did you look up anything about the whipped cream, Eric?
No.
So you can just use it to decorate because it will taste good.
Yeah, it'll probably, you can still pipe it, especially with, you have pretty fat ones, like that Fat Star one.
I'm too nervous to do the edge here.
Lisa, to do the edge, get it on the top and then get it over the sides and then kind of pull it down from the sides.
That's what I was trying to do. I guess I'm too nervous. Like as if it matters. This isn't even going anywhere. But to see all my friends I don't see anymore. All my family I don't see anymore. What?
Digging my yellow color here. We lost Marjorie. I don't know what happened. She didn't seem like she was actually doing it. Maybe she gave up.
Maybe she'll come back.
I don't know. She also seemed like she kind of was
Still mad at you from yesterday.
doing her own thing as well, so.
She sent a few pictures over the chat. She said she went rogue.
Oh,
See
okay.
what happened with the, I want to see what happened with the cocoa. 'Cause I like chocolate, you know.
Lisa, I feel like you've given me a complex that I'm like having a hard time getting myself to get the sides down.
Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I said before, it doesn't really matter.
All right, I really should not put any more frosting on this thing.
Jenny, maybe I'll take a picture of it. I'll make it a first birthday cake, and I'll take a picture, and then I just won't post it till Jackson's birthday, but it'll be gone and eaten by then.
Sounds good.
This is so much work. Must get it even. Yeah,
So, like I said before, this is the step where you can sit and obsess over this for forever. I'm not to the point where I'm even obsessing because I still haven't got it fully covered, but.
it does feel good when you get that final covering. You're like, ah, you know?
Yeah.
Eric, you had plenty to cover the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's thin. It's really thin. I wish I had more, but
Yeah,
I can hide most of it with the piping.
right.
Glad I had the whipped cream left because that's what has become my top.
Okay.
Nice.
It's working.
Are you just spreading it on the top, Lauren, or what are you doing with it?
Yeah, I'm just, yeah, it's, I'll show you in just a sec. It's covering up the crumbs. What we decided to do, we're going to drive by and visit the kids today. So like a quarter of it's going to Kyle and Andrea. Half of it's going to Ryan and Ashley and Jasper and Irene.
Mm-hmm.
So
they all live together? Does Ryan?
Yeah, they just moved in with Irene. They're going to bank some more money and hopefully get a house out of this pandemic situation eventually. So yeah, it's more space. They were in a tiny apartment with no yard access and just found that it was just not working for them.
Oh, I thought that they lived with her parents.
They did, but for about the past year almost, they were in an apartment just outside of Concord.
Okay.
So here's mine. Can you? It's a little rough, but I definitely learned, I had no idea about the damming and the crumb layer.
Mm-hmm.
If I had done the stacking correctly and didn't have all those crumbs, I think the sides would have really been good because as I was going towards the end, I got a real feel for how to get that smooth coat.
Mm-hmm. So are you out of frosting and
everything?
Yeah. So it's hard for me to tell with the video how much layer is on there, but you can do some things to fancy it up if you take a butter knife or even a spoon. Here, take a look at my screen for a sec.
Yeah.
You could take it and run it along the edge and then work your way up so you end up with like ribs or decorative lines.
Okay. Yeah.
Something smaller than that giant spatula though. Wait, Lauren, stop!
Oh, okay.
Get like a butter knife or a spoon.
Jenny, how did you make yours so smooth? Like, did you just take it and spin it on the edge?
Yeah, so here, watch the edge part. Just taking it, holding it, and rubbing it around. You
I need
also,
the cake
people
spinner.
with a bench knife, I know. That looks big still. Well,
that looks like a bakery cake. Holy crap.
Yeah, try that out, Lauren. You can also do on the top where you, let me see, hold it and then spin it and you'll end up with like a circle on the top of design.
Yeah.
People who have bench knives, I know Alice does, you can also hold it to the side of the cake and then run it on the side of the cake and end up with it flat.
My top layer, oh, my stupid thing keeps falling off here. My top cake is in a little bit from the bottom layer, so I can't get it straight up and down like yours, you know?
Just use more frosting.
Yeah, it's not an option anymore. It's okay.
All right, I'm gonna stop obsessing shortly. My frosting, I feel like, is really softer than I'm having a little bit of a hard time with it.
Oh, I went too deep. I got a crumb. No. What happened, Eric?
So, this lady was walking her dog, and she just let her dog go in the middle of my grass and take a dump.
Thanks. That's real nice.
Guys, I'm gonna sign off.
Kids-
My daughter's here, and I'm gonna cut the cake and give her a piece.
Oh.
Okay.
So this was so much fun, though. Thank you, and it was so fun to see you guys.
It was nice to see you.
Glad you came.
Yeah, I learned a lot. So,
Yay.
yeah, that's really cool.
It was nice to see you.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
Take care. Stay healthy.
Thanks again, Jenny.
Yep, take care. All right. So you can see I got some
What did you do?
texture here because I just took the spatula and rolled it around the sides. I'm going to actually smooth it out again because I feel like I can see some chocolate here. But that's an easy non-piping decoration to do.
I'm not going to do that. I feel like my frosting's not thick enough to do that. Oops. All right.
Oh, I feel like it's getting kind of hot in here. What you got in there, David?
It's just some flour and water. Soon to be a bread.
Oh boy. We got dual action happening over here. David is making some sort of sourdough thing while I'm doing this.
It's a great Norcod Bake Off in here.
I don't know. Is it a competition? Mine's gonna win because it's made out of chocolate, obviously. All right. I think it's maybe time to stop obsessing and just do a final design here.
Me too. I need to I'll leave it alone.
Right.
Back to this thing, right? I can throw out my other bag and wash the stuff from earlier, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a trick to get that thing out of the bag?
Take it, turn the bag inside out.
Oh. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do my final. Lisa, what are you planning on doing with the sides of your cake?
I have no idea. That's why I'm here.
Maybe you and I can just make pretty much like the same cake.
Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna do blue because I like blue and yellow. I think it's pretty.
Yeah. Here, take a. Oh, I don't know. You said you might not have enough frosting.
I know I have a whole cup full here.
Oh no, I mean what's on your cake.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna just go ahead and remake my ridges to be the decoration on the side of my cake, and then I can go ahead and pipe some decorations on.
So you're doing ridges with your knife?
With my spatula, yep. And I'm
your thing spins so beautifully. Mine falls off, and then I get a divot, and then it falls off again, and I get another divot. So it doesn't really work. So I can just add the gel to this to make my next color, right?
Yeah. Well, are you gonna do just one other color?
Yeah, yeah, it's like almost noon time. I feel like I need to wrap it up.
Eric, have you piped already?
Yeah.
I see.
Hold on.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So it's the Oreo piping?
What?
That's the Oreo stuff that you piped?
No, that's just the regular frosting that I set aside.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Does it
Just
say
like-
something on it?
Yeah, well, I wrote Happy Birthday Lucas on it. I gotta go over it now.
Okay. So that's also a nice hack. Did you do it with a toothpick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that you write with a toothpick, and then it helps you that if you screw up, it's easier to fix. And then, which I don't always do, which is why I wrote "God bless Jackson" on Jackson's cake.
Whoops. That's all right. I never knew that hack. You should tell Lauren that.
So you can put whatever. I'm gonna make a couple different color frostings that I'm gonna pipe on. Where did I write, Lisa, what you have? You have 4, 12, 21, and 104. I haven't really heard from anybody except Lisa and Eric. Everyone else is pretty quiet. What's going on out there in the world?
I think I can talk again. So sorry for a while. Ash was sleeping, and I talk really, really loud, and I didn't want to wake him up. I need to wake now. So I know that you've been talking about how the frosting is not what you typically work with. The cake for me, for some reason, my frosting turned out fine. The cake is so crummy that it's like I'm learning a lot of new skills. So thank you for this opportunity. And then I am doing a sort of like a naked cake, but then I put an extra layer on top. So the top is not naked, but I can maybe hold it up here.
Oh, nice.
A naked cake with white on top, and I'm gonna pipe some flowers. And I've been practicing piping on a plate because all of my cutting boards, I feel like probably smell of onions. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what I'm gonna do. And then I have lots of other fun colors. And I also, so Jenny, you were asking me about the difference between gel color and non-gel color. And I've never used gel color before. So I'm using gel color for the first time, and I got all these amazing colors. And I'm also doing one that is not gel color, just to see if there's a difference in consistency or piping. So far, I can't tell a difference in consistency. If anything, maybe, so I put in twice the liquid color to get it just as vibrant as all of the gel colors. I'm guessing that the color vibrancy is gonna be the big difference. I don't know, has anybody else done gel versus liquid color before?
Never made frosting, so.
Lisa said she's never made frosting.
I never made homemade frosting, so I can't speak to that.
Well, I sort of apologize, and I feel very responsible for the frosting version that we're making today, which is like I guess it's kind of hard to work with.
Yeah, but the problem, Lucy, is that it tastes really good. So that's why. I mean,
It's not a problem.
Right. I don't see any problem, Jenny.
Yeah.
It's also more just like I've done a ton of cake decorating, and I've done it with my mother-in-law's recipe, and this is just different. So it's like an adjustment for me.
Yeah, I think the moral.
This one.
Yeah, Lisa, use that one, and I'll show you how to pipe rosettes, little flowers.
Okay. Sorry, Lucy, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I wanted to keep going while you were talking.
Oh yeah, no, I think the moral of this story is when everybody makes the Crisco Crisco frosting, they're gonna be like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's so easy to work with.
What I've got so far. You can sort. Wait, where's my camera?
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
that looks fun.
Some white on the top.
So when did you put the cocoa in the frosting recipe?
Before we did the outside layer of the cake. So I did the crumb with the white, and then I did the added cocoa. And in retrospect, I would have added it for the crumb layer. So that I was having some troubles with white sneaking through, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Alice, what's happening with you?
I have frosted a cake. It has, it's not gonna work.
Move your camera. Cake. Less dangerous.
Because it has apricots inside it, I made an apricot flower.
Oh, so fun!
That's wicked cute.
I love it with the purple dots. Wait, Dave missed it. Do it again.
I sent him a photo.
All right.
Okay.
Your phone, David, has a photo of today's bread and today's cake.
I saw the bread. It looked good. Have you
Bread on top of making a cake.
The bread was all the work yesterday. I just had to put it in the Dutch oven this morning.
Oh, there you go.
It probably didn't get enough attention yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Lisa, I'm going to show you piping. I just am not quite there yet.
Okay.
If you want to go do something and come back.
No, I just filled my bag. There's a boatload of blue, so that's my accent color. Yeah, I just feel like it's easier to not do 8,000 colors because then I have to use 8,000 bags. Eric, you peacing out?
Jenny, I'm signing out.
All right, sounds good. Enjoy
Let me
the
see your cake one more time. What did you do? Did you change colors?
Well, I just used some piping crap that was lying around.
Oh, nice.
That wasn't very good because it ran.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So,
It's all right. It's homemade.
good enough.
Tell Lucas I said happy birthday from Auntie Lisa.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
All right, see you later.
Bye. Have fun.
Alice, I'm impressed. Your cake looks very cute.
It's very classy.
Yeah. What are you going to do with it?
Stare at it.
Yeah, put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's so much cake. Jenny, did you see my post last night on Instagram? Like, I didn't even know I could have such a photogenic refrigerator, but like, there are greens in my fridge for once.
I did see that you had put it in the fridge, and I was like, well, it doesn't really need to be in the fridge, but that's fine.
Oh, I could have just I guess I now need to put it in the fridge though, because it has all the butter, right?
No. I mean, well, actually, I guess if it's hot in your house, then yes, but like, it
only has to go in the fridge if it has the whipped cream.
Yeah. So it can.
But how long will it last?
I mean, we keep butter on the counter for weeks at a time, so.
But I guess my cake in general, like.
Probably like, I don't know, 4 to 5 days.
I think, but at the bakery, they don't leave cakes in the fridge, right? But they're probably temperature controlled.
Yeah, if you put it in the fridge to make it last longer, I would say make sure you take it out like 15 minutes before you're gonna eat it, so that you can let it come a little more to room temperature. All right, so Lisa, you are using tip 21, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Lucy, do you know how to pipe a rosette? I think you actually showed pictures of rosettes, right?
I think, so this is what I've got so far.
Hang on, I gotta put my...
And I'm gonna put some more stuff in it. But it's not really rosettes, I guess. Might be rosette.
I did those, I don't know if you saw, I posted at some point, some cupcakes for Earth Day. And I learned how to make rosettes for that, and that was pretty fun.
Those are beautiful, Jenny.
Yeah, they took like forever because there were like 6 different colors and I don't know, 6 different piping techniques. So it was kind of a slog, but that's fine. It came out beautiful.
Yeah, I'm also in I'm in the camp of whoever was like, so many colors, and I don't want to do so many piping bags, but I'm just going to cut a bunch of Ziploc bags because I don't want to make like 6. I want some color on my cake, but I don't want to make 6.
Yeah.
I want to clean it 6 times.
All right. Jenny, can we get a cutting board?
Yeah.
Like a little one.
Is he watching the?
All right, I'm ready.
All right. So these are going to be small rosettes because you have a pretty small tip. You're going to start with a star and then go around the star and then release.
Okay.
So star, work your way around it and release. Keeping in mind that your hands are going to be hot and melting the frosting, so use it and then take your hand away and then
Like that? Looks like a circle.
Yeah, not quite like that. Do it so I can, let me watch you do it.
So a star. Then do I pick it up?
No.
Okay, and then I just go around.
But not, you're going around the outside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch, you want to almost go on top of it. So I'm going to go star and then right like on top of the star. So
I'm not gonna log out.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye. Nice job.
Goodbye.
Okay.
It still looks the same.
You're still going, so you're doing this, Lisa? Star and around the star.
Yeah.
So it just looks like a circle. So that's a lot bigger than what I did. A star, and then you're just going like on top of it.
Okay.
That's what you want to do, is go on top of it.
Star, then go on top.
You guys are busy, but I'm gonna go. I just want to show you my.
Oh, nice. Super cute. I love it.
Thank you, Jenny.
That's fun.
Let me see it one more time.
Oh yeah. If I can find it.
Nice, that's fun.
Did you put shaved chocolate on it?
They're chocolate sprinkles.
Nice. That's fun.
Yum.
I think it looks
Yum.
good.
Thanks.
How do you feel about it?
I feel good for a first go. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
I hope everyone enjoys this weather. It's freaking amazing right now.
Yeah.
I know. I want to go out and play.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi. I don't know where Jared is, and I maybe need the bottle. Jared? Must be woods. All right. Sorry. All right. So I don't know. I kind of just want to make like flower designs.
Well, that's what this is supposed to be.
Well, it just looks like circles.
Now, does it look like a flower?
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Let me see you do it again.
In the middle. Then
Don't finish it in the middle. Now go around and then stop there. Whoop, that was too far. You're going a little too far at the end and need to
do it again. Let me see.
maybe be a little more like here. Now I stop squeezing and I just kind of pull it away. Like you're lifting up and then you're ending up with that big sort of nipple.
Okay.
Better. It might be also a matter of practice.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do with yours? Maybe I'll just do like, I don't know, like big flowery things. I don't know.
You can do twirls like that. You can also do it just as stars so that they're, I don't know if you can see these, but they're like the pretty obvious
Yeah.
stars.
A giant flower like that.
Yep, you can do that. And then you could fill it in with individual stars. You know what I mean? Where they get piped in.
Like that?
Yeah, or you could do little ones. So see how these are like
Oh yeah.
little ones. You could also do let's see, teardrop border. You have the other tip too, Lisa. So
Yeah.
you can, if you want to change it, you just take it off.
Yeah.
And put the other tip on, and then
the small circle.
No, the number 12. I mean, you can do the small circle. It's just really small. The number 4 that you have is really thin, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can do polka dots, obviously.
I lost number 12.
It's the one that you piped your dam with.
Yeah, I don't know what I did with it. It was the fat one. Oh yeah.
Lisa, you might end up wanting to do a border at the bottom of your cake, like where the cake meets the board.
I definitely do. I think I want to do it with the other thing though. The pretty.
So you can do like a teardrop or a shell sort of one. So I did this with the fat one, and my frosting is actually a little melty. I need to get it back in the fridge, but
oh yeah.
And you could do that with the stars, so it looks like a shell. So the way that you do that is you pipe a dot and then drag, and then pipe and drag.
Oh, that looks messy. I gotta put it back in the fridge. All right. What are you gonna do for your design? I should put all this back in the fridge, huh?
I think I'm just gonna pipe some. I made 3 different colors, so I have the teal and I have like pinkish and purplish.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna pipe some roses and stars and maybe some squiggles or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just scraping all this off the board and gonna get it back in the fridge.
Yeah. What kind of design are you doing, Lucy?
Up, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm almost done. I'm thinking about whether I want to do exactly what you're talking about, like the little, not a shell, but I think I would do it with a solid piping thing, and I want to add a little bit of green, although I wish I had a leaf piping tip, but I don't. But do you guys want to see the top of the cake? I'm so proud of this.
Yeah.
It's not done, but can you see it?
Oh, fun! Look at
Yeah, that's
you.
awesome.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's
Wait,
awesome.
go back so David can see.
Wow, that looks great. That's
Yeah.
really
Really
cool.
good. So you just did that with the bag? You have tips?
I have tips, yeah. I have like 6 tips. They're not Wilton tips. They're actually, they don't have
Numbers?
a coupler. They do have numbers. I can tell you what numbers they are if you want, but they don't have a coupler. So I put them inside the bag like that.
Oh, okay. So then it's harder to switch it, but at least you.
It's really hard to switch, yeah.
I have some of those as well, Lucy. They're my they're big. So like this is my coupler one. I don't have a coupler big enough for the big boys.
Exactly. Yeah, mine are huge, and I have this guy. So, which
What-
actually, Jenny.
What tip did you use for the purple one that you have on there, Luce?
That is a great question. I used a 864.
Oh, I don't even know what that. I thought that the numbers were all the same, but I guess not.
Yeah.
So Lisa, when you put your frosting back in, you
Yeah.
want to like, well, I guess you have a ton of frosting, so you don't have to worry. But I'm oh shoot, pushing it to get it all back down to the bottom again.
Okay. I feel like the consistency's getting weird. I feel like I gotta just put it on the cake. I need to like see how it's like kind of speckly.
Yeah, mine is as well. I'm gonna put it in the fridge for a bit.
All right. So maybe I'll just do this. No, I think I'm gonna do the star. Go back to the star. Although I
Yeah,
think
you can also like take a break and let it cool and.
well, Jared has to go to Rebecca and Travis's house to pick up clothes for the baby, for both babies. And I don't know where he is, but Jackson needs to like come in for a bottle, and like I gotta move along because he wants to go for a bike ride and I want to go for a walk. So I need to like just.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can put all this stuff in the fridge and come back to it later.
No, I want to finish what I started.
Here, do it. Wait, do it as a dip and a. Well, too late.
And I have to keep stopping because my stupid thing doesn't turn. All right, I'll do it as a dip now. Dip.
Ah!
Dot and drag.
Oh.
Give it an explosion?
Yeah.
Out the bottom?
Yeah, of my like, I just shouldn't have been using a Ziploc bag for like that kind of piping. It's fine.
Dip and drag's better. Okay. Jared, I've been calling you. Okay. Well, he probably needs a bottle. No, I called you through the front. I called you through the back. Okay. He probably needs a bottle, and you probably got to go to Rebecca and Travis soon. So I'm trying to finish up what I've started here.
Practicing walking.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Well,
What's crazy? Oh, hey, Jackson.
little piggies in the grass.
Ash has been eating grass lately. Like I'll take him out and he'll just eat all of the grass. And I'm like, I don't know how worried to be.
Oh, it's fine as long as it's not treated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea if the grass is treated around here. Like
yeah.
the grass in the parks.
Yeah, Jack isn't walking. If I hold him and give him support, he'll like do some baby steps. He's definitely not on his own.
Okay. No, not even close.
No, not even close.
All right, Jenny, that used like half my frosting.
That's fine.
Now what should I do?
Your choice.
For a minute because I feel like I just just don't know how to decorate it so it looks fun and fancy with my one color.
I don't know what to do with all of the extra frosting that I have. I think I made too much.
Yeah.
You can put it in the freezer, Luce.
Yeah.
Where'd everybody else go?
You're all done. We're pretty much done. We're just wrapping up now. I'm just trying to decide how to decorate it. You got any inspirational ideas for me?
You do a spring, summer. You do like flowers.
Yeah, that's what I
petals.
was thinking.
You
Nobody
do
green.
an abstract. Looks like a fun design.
I don't know.
Yeah, the designing is the
You do a
hardest.
lattice, a basket weave.
A basket weave. Oh my god.
I don't want to do a basket weave.
Mini basket weave.
No, because then it would end up looking like a checkerboard. It just looked like stripes because I can't go over under.
There is a basket weave method, but I do not recommend that you do that right
No,
now.
I'm not going to do it.
You can do pinwheels and spirals. You do a big spiral starting in the center. You can do mini spirals. You can do circles, polka dots.
Yeah, that's like what I did for Jackson's.
You can do superstars.
I don't know what that means.
Make stars.
Just make stars. Make different color stars.
You can do stars and moons.
Yeah. Stars and moons. Like a. All right, keep going.
Constellations.
No, I'm not.
Lucy had been following Instagram, Wilton on Instagram.
Ooh, I have not. That's a really good idea. But I did look at all of your Pinterest stuff.
Okay. Because I was like, I feel like your cake looks like a lot of what I have been seeing on Instagram from Wilton.
Ooh, no, but I did spend a couple of hours just looking through Instagram at like cakes that I really liked. And Ed was like, "You're not talking to me." And I was like, "No, I'm just getting my ideas together." I was very, very excited about this.
Your cake inspiration.
Yeah. Almost done. I'm just gonna.
Jenny, did you make the purple cake in the Pinterest thing you sent us?
Ombre baby one?
The thank you TR? It's a rectangle?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
It's fun though, right?
Still looks a little crookedy.
Lisa, are you still thinking of like designs and inspiration?
She's in the zone. Lucy,
'Cause
what did your the one that I asked about, the purple stars, can you show me what the top of it looks like? Like what the actual tip looks like?
Yes, I can.
Oh, right, you said it was gigantic. Okay, cool. That's essentially the same as this, right?
Show me the side. Yes, it's the same thing, but mine's bigger.
Gotcha.
Lisa, I've had a lot of luck with like a simple, with a very simple, like ripple tip. I wonder if I can find the image and email it to you.
She's disappeared.
Oh.
That was probably not on purpose.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do like a couple more dots in green, and then I'll probably do like the border maybe later, so that I can give Ed a break from his hobby of baby watching to pursue other hobbies today. Ooh, I really like this green. Okay.
Where did you get your coloring, Luce?
I ordered it off of Amazon.
Is it like Wilton gel colors or what?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I did exactly what Alice did, and I did what I did with the sourdough, which is like order stuff while I'm in class with you guys. Actually, like, so I got a Dutch oven, and I didn't realize that some Dutch ovens can't be preheated empty. And so I think I got one that can't be preheated empty, and it like the top cracked off of it already. I'm kind of bummed about it, but
No.
That's
terrible.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. It was weird. I did see that in a review of the one that we got. They were like, yeah, it can be preheated empty. And I was like, is that a thing you can't do? But I didn't really think it was, I don't know, an issue. That's too bad.
Try to return it.
Yeah.
all right. I think I have the top done, and I am just maybe gonna put a little more yellow over here.
No, use the yellow one.
Try to get custom yellow.
Yeah.
Shit. Maybe not.
Ready?
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do.
Lisa texted that she'd lost power.
Oh no!
Whoopsies.
All right, I think I'm done with the top, and I'll show you, and then I will probably sign off because I'm gonna do a border. It looks pretty much the same as what. Wait, where is it?
Again, up. Oh yeah, that's beautiful, Lucy. Nice job.
Thanks. Very spring-like. I think so. I used this food color. Oops. And I just used like every color from it.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, it's a fun palette.
Yeah. So verdict on gel versus liquid is that it doesn't seem to affect consistency, in my opinion, especially as much as like probably using Crisco versus using the butter. That probably affects it.
Did you use liquid just like the regular like pack you get at the store, the like blue, red, green, yeah, that stuff. Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, it does seem to affect vibrancy of the color.
All right, duly noted.
I'll send you a picture when it's totally done.
Yeah, definitely.
This is great. Thanks so much.
All right, you're welcome. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, what do you want Mr. Bunny to wash?
Well, I'm not done with my cake making yet.
Yeah. If there's anything I can clean up though, or whatever, I can take a first pass.
Anything that's not.
Sorry, I lost you.
Oh, hey, you're back.
I am. Sorry, I had lost power, and then it took me forever to connect to my stupid internet.
Yeah. Everything.
I wanted to see Lucy's final product.
She's gonna send and take a picture and send it. So
Okay.
we post it online too.
Yeah.
Okay. You just lost power and then it came back?
Yeah, it was really weird. No, don't. I'm online with Jenny. Yeah. This is really dumb. Making little squiggles out of my big huge flower. Little leaves. How's yours coming, Jenny?
Good, I think. A little
It looks good to me.
slow, but I'm
I wanted my rosettes to look really cool, but they don't really. But that's okay.
Drinking milk. Thank you. Oh, it's nice.
I just was like feeling like I need to finish this. I feel like I'm taking forever.
Oh, I like it.
Maybe I'll carry these little lines over the edge.
Oops.
That's sort of what cake making can be, is you can really just spend forever on it.
Right, which I wouldn't mind most days, but since it's beautiful out, like I want to go outside.
Oh, it's starting to rain.
Shut up, I hate you.
You missed the best part.
I hate you.
Never gonna stop it.
No, it's gonna rain for the next 2 weeks like it has been.
I don't know, I just think I should try to fill it all in.
Is that one done?
Yeah.
I think I mean it's good I learned everything, but I think I need to like work on like design ideas.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the hardest part, quite honestly. Like, that's why I have like a giant Pinterest board, and why, like, you know, it's really the easy part, getting it. A lot of times I will make this and I'll get it to that sort of blank canvas point, and then come back the next day to actually decorate it, because that's the hardest part.
Yeah. I know.
And I'm not very good at coming up with ideas on my own. I just like search around online or start with an idea and get some inspiration from something.
Yeah, yeah. I had to put mine in the fridge. I'm going to take you on a virtual tour to see my screen porch, because I need my frosting to fridge again. Want to see?
Yep. Hi, Jackson. Oh, with the doors all nice and wide open.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice space.
Cool.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Jackson, go play with your toy. It's okay. You can go play with your table. Want to play with the music?
I'm still going with mine. Otherwise, I'd take you on a tour to my deck with all my plants. It's looking quite nice, actually.
Yeah. I mean, if I also did more colors, but then it's like more bags and I need more frosting, and it's like, what's the matter? What's the matter? You're okay. I'm right here. Go, baby. Okay. Jared. Honey? It's disappearing. Babe? Is the diaper changed? All right. All right, Lisa, time to finish this up. Get rid of that. No. Let me see.
In hindsight, I probably should have done the class so that everybody was just making the exact same thing. Like, come up with the design and just been like, this is what we're gonna do.
I think a lot of people like to have the, you know, the creative whatever, so I think it's fine.
No.
You know, it's harder for you, but I think everyone was happy with what they made.
Yeah.
Everybody learned something, so that's what's important too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a process.
Yeah.
I feel like Eric was like the inspiration for why I set this up, but I feel like I'm not sure if he learned anything. But that's,
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Cakes and crumb layers and all that stuff.
yeah. Did you talk to Mom about doing this, Lisa?
I did.
Yeah, I talked to her too, and she's like, I'm not interested in learning about cakes. I'm done. Like, I'm not making any more cakes.
I know, right? She's like, yeah. Yeah, that's like the mentality of the older folks now.
Yeah, I was like, well, that's kind of depressing.
I know. She says, I don't know what else to do with my cake. Want to see my zigzaggy flower?
Oh, God.
It's a giant flower with a bunch of weird zigzags. So good. So good in the hood. I think I'm done. How's my baby? Yeah, I feel like I want to get better about decorating ideas, but I just need to like have a plan and have some inspiration. I know you sent a bunch of stuff. I just didn't feel like I have direction, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, my flower just ended up being like a giant blobby flower. Frosting's good though.
Yeah, I just had a bite of it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'll show you mine in a second. It's almost done.
Okay. I'm gonna put it in the fridge to harden. I feel like I like the flavor of the Oreo. I want to like work another layer in next time.
Yeah. All right, it's pretty much done. You want to see it?
Yeah.
There it is.
Not your cake. That is your husband.
Here's
Oh, that's fun. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Look at that, right?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I don't know. It works out.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty. Was it Lucy inspired?
What's that?
Was it Lucy inspired?
A little bit, but it also like that's why I asked her if she'd been reading the looking at Instagram or whatever, because this is like what's in fashion right now. Like,
oh, okay.
What's all the people on social media? So
yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it looks really good. I should have done more colors and I have more options, but I really just
yeah. I mean, like you said, now I had three different color bowls, 3 different piping. I have 4 different bags right now. Like,
yeah,
a process.
Yeah. And I throw away my bags, so because they're a mess. And it's a pain to clean.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like a dime a dozen. Like they're not like they're just plastic bags. But.
Cool.
Okay.
Diaper. Are you for next weekend? If the weather is good on all the days, do you have a day you're aiming for?
I don't. I haven't really thought that far ahead. Does it matter to you? Do you have a preference?
We would prefer for it to not be on Saturday.
Okay. Do you have a preference for Jackson's party? Like maybe Sunday? I'm thinking Sunday because then yeah, we'll check the weather. Yeah, I mean, unless Saturday's like a totally, like, the best day. Like, if it's going to rain Sunday, Monday, or there's like a high chance of rain Sunday, Monday.
Right, right.
Is it like more expensive to rent a car that day or something?
No, it's just David usually does his cake bake then, and like.
You have to do this. You have to change it because of me. I'm actually not going to do the cake bake next weekend. So. Or the bread baking next weekend. So it does. So Saturday's totally fine.
But it like, yeah, whatever is fine.
Yeah, I'll Yeah, we'll look at the weather. I mean, if it's like, you know, if I would prefer it to be on Sunday because then I feel like you got like a day before and a day after, but I don't go anywhere, so it doesn't really matter to me. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, we'll touch base.
All right.
Final pick for your final product.
All right, we'll do.
And yeah, I can't wait to cut it and open it and eat it.
Yeah, don't
All
forget to put it in the fridge with the whipped cream.
Oh yeah, it's already in the fridge. We'll have Jack by. This is what he does all day. He just stands at that little table and plays.
Nice.
Cool.
Very entertaining. I do need to change his diaper.
Yeah, it's nice that room is kind of like a cage for him almost.
Oh, it's like totally, he can be free in here. I don't have to worry about anything. Right, baby Jackson James? You saying hi to Daddy? He's waving outside to Jared. I don't know if you can see him. Yeah, he's like doing his laundry out there. Ah, Boo. Yeah, a little tear. Oh my goodness. Say bye to Uncle David and Auntie Jenny.
Bye, Jackson.
Bye, Jackson. Jackson.
Jackson.
Bye.
Bye, Jackson.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ready?
We love you.
You can say bye.
You big cheek.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Jackson, leave.
So serious.
He's like, oh, Jackson, you can say bye? Say bye to them. Say bye to them. Why are you being silly?
Mhm.